Good day everyone, we are the Group 1 and for today's lesson, we will tackle about survey tools and applied business tools and technologies. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to define survey tools, distinguish the guides of the 5 types of survey questions, to know the importance of survey, next, to identify the 5 benefits of using business survey, and lastly, to evaluate the 9 types of survey methods. For the introduction of this lesson, we will define first what is survey. So survey is, according to Cambridge English Dictionary, it is a set of questions people are asked to gather information or find out their opinions, or the information gathered by asking many people the same questions. From the definition itself, mao ni ang gamiton sa pagkuhag, opinion, or feedback sa ubang tao. Going on, survey tools. It is a tool that allows you to make and send thousands of surveys. It provides you with data you can analyze to see what you are doing right versus what you need to improve. Next, most survey tools come equipped with survey templates and sample questions. Since survey can have different goals, nadyo na ilahi nga template and sample questions each survey tools. For example, one survey might gauge your target audience's familiarity with your brand, while ang uban might serve to drum up new leads. Moreover, survey tools allow you to get into the inner workings of your business, whether it's to better understand your customers, your employees, or your employees' employees. With that, choosing the right survey type for your goal kay very important para masabtan nimo ang ilahang wants and needs. For the next topic, it is all about the guide to 5 types of survey questions to be tackled by the next reporter.
First, open-ended questions. This kind of query is employed to learn more about the respondent's feelings. Use them only when it makes the most sense because they take a lot of attention, because the respondent's response is not predicated on the researcher's presumptions. Open-ended questions are beneficial. Instead, every time a unique response is provided. While taking more time to analyze, these questions yield useful feedback. So, for example, do you have anything you would like to share with us? So, ang kaning open-ended questions, maunay ang kaning example, maunay siya ang kaning, do you have anything you would like to share with us? Muna siya kay kanang maumagin siya maka-help bitaw kay mura man siya feedback. Second is multiple choice questions. This particular question type is frequently used to learn about a variety of topics or to acquire demographic data. Questions with a multiple choices may just accept one response or may provide several options based on what you already know. Use this to group people. If there are just 5 color options available, for instance, and you are asking your attendees which one they prefer, only list those 5 possibilities. Example for this, who would you choose? A. Ako. B. Si Charez. Bitaw, ang example na niya is like, what is your marital status? So, there are kanang imong pilian. So, you only need to select one nga unsa imong status. First, single ba ka, living with partner, married, divorced, separated, or widowed. Mao na siya ang example sa multiple choice questions. The third one is ordinal scale questions. Respondents are asked to rank a selection of things or select one from an ordered list in this sort of question. This is useful for determining each person's level of importance. Make sure to specify your numerical scale, 1 being the first choice and 5 being the last choice. So, ang example ani niya is like, I have a 5 list sa akong ganahan na food. For example, adobo, fried chicken, burger, veggies, fried fish. So, scale na ko asa sa 5, ang 1 nga pinaka-5 na ko, and so on until 5. Muna siya ang ordinal scale questions.
Good morning, everyone. I am Chagaran Samosa, and today we will be tackle about interval scale questions. Interval scale questions is the most commonly used question type in research studies. As you know, we use them to capture the level of feelings the respondent has about the topic of interest. And the level of feelings is captured by presenting a multiple point scale and asking them where they fall on the scale range. I'm sure familiar mo nang makita sa survey questionnaire bitaw nga from 5 to 1, i-rate niyo how you feel about the question given. If you strongly agree, generally agree, neither agree nor disagree, or generally disagree, and lastly, strong disagree. That's what multiple point scale in interval scale question. The interval scale is quantitative because it has the ability to quantify value differences. Na-measure nimo siya, ma-calculate o ma-estimate because the answers given involves numbers. Can be continuous with fractional numbers or discrete with whole number. Interval data can be continuous with fractional numbers like 12.2 degrees or 3.5 weeks. Baka ha, pila man ang 3.5 weeks convert into days? 24.5 days, or pwede po siya whole number like 8 years and etc. Values between two variables that clarify their differences can be subtracted. What I've said earlier, 3.5 weeks can be subtracted into days, which is 24.5 days. Allows you to calculate the mean and median variables. I know every one of us here experienced research project or practical research. That's what they call them. And we're familiar about mean, median. Particularly helpful in corporate, social, and scientific analysis and strategy. Because interval data is simple and quantifiable, it is particularly helpful in corporate, social, and scientific analysis and strategy. It also enables you to give arbitrary assessment, such feelings and sentiment, numerical value. This is a preferred scale in statistics since it enables you to give any arbitrary assessment, such feelings and sentiments, a numerical value. So here are the example of interval scales questions. Please rate the quality of this event. If the organization is having an event, maybe in that morning, they will conduct a survey related to that event. They want to know if the attendees are satisfied to the service of the event, or if it's not, then they will have an idea on how to improve their organizational event. Another survey questions is ratio. Respondents are asked to provide measured responses to this type of questions. For example, how long do you spend using a computer each day? In their answers, we can measure and we will have an idea because they provide what we need to hear, which is their answer. Questions on ratios have a true zero and therefore are frequently presented ordinally with range. The absolute zero of a ratio scale of measurement as opposed to an arbitrary origin makes it the most potent of the four measuring scales. It therefore includes all the characteristics of other three measurement scales. So, among of all the measurement scale, mauni siya ang pinaka-powerful na measuring scales kay unlike sa interval nga random questions lang dili consistent, kani siya it has absolute zero, which means if a value is zero, it doesn't exist. For example, if you measured height as zero, then the height doesn't exist. Due to the 0 point or absolute zero property, ratio scales do not have negative numbers like interval scales do. Researchers must first determine whether an object fits all the requirements for an interval scales and has an absolute zero characteristic before measuring it on this scale. So, utilizing the proper measurement scale might undoubtedly aid in the collection of useful data and the making of wise business judgment. The ratio scale supports both descriptive and inferential analysis methods and aids users in gathering deep insights. Kung kahibaw ka mo gamit aning klase-klaseng types of scale questions in the right type, it might help you gather or capture meaningful data. And it's good also in business decisions because especially in ratio skills that helps users in collecting intense insight and works best with both inferential and descriptive analysis techniques.
For the next topic, it is all about the importance of survey, to be reported by Miss Samosa Chai.
Importance of survey. Surveys are important because they allow us to get a better idea of what's going on in the world. We'll cover all things you need to know about surveying. Surveys are one way that we can understand more about people and their opinions, habits, and behaviors. They're also an important tool for companies who want to know more about their customers or potential customers. The ability to examine the thought and beliefs of both individuals and groups makes survey extremely useful. Surveys provide us a much better understanding of the state of society as long as we can identify the groups being polled. Surveys are not always easy or cheap to collect, so it is important to use them only when necessary. Survey is important because they're the most reliable method to get real feedback. They can be used for many different purposes. Even companies, they might do a survey to find out why their product is selling poorly or why their customers like it so much, or even in government agencies, they might launch a survey to find out why people don't know about their programs and what they need to do to get more fundings, or public health officials. They might do a survey to find out why people don't know the danger of smoking or why they don't want to quit. That's all for my topics. Next slide, please.
So, good morning everyone. I am Lea Mimiano and I will be discussing the benefits of using business surveys. First, collect vital feedback for product development. Surveys are a cost-effective way to gain product insight. So, survey are the method of gathering product information and ask your customer for feedback about your product in order to find product gaps and continuously improve your product and development process. So, surveys are the method of gathering product information in order to identify products gaps and continuously improve your product and development process. Solicit or collect the feedback from your customers. So like example, hotel manager naggamit og online survey para mo to gather the information in order to gain deeper insight sa mga audience, how they feel about the company and their products. So using a survey to collect feedback is cost effective because the survey only needs to be created once. The responses will begin to pour in. Of course, you must ask the appropriate question and then make a list of questions and decide which types of questions to use. And the second benefit is inform future marketing decision with business survey research. Survey are a highly useful market research tool for small business because they can be administered at a low cost when compared to other methods of data collection. So in the business, they use their platform on social media to gather first-hand survey data on areas like what products customers prefer or how audience members first heard about the merchandise. However, the questions that have been used solely via Facebook, and it's logical to assume that these users may respond differently to those who are surveyed through different channels such as Twitter, email, or on the phone. And this practical feedback can be utilized by the brand to tell their overall product and can also provide wealth of easily understandable data for the team to still fine-tune their strategy within the future. And the third benefit is collect customer data for marketing purposes. Marketing survey can help you to create buyer personas. Marketing needs to define customer profile as a foundation to create the right marketing campaign for the right audience. So the primary goal of this survey was to collect customer data, and once the customer data had been obtained and filtered, these leads were redistributed back to the sales team, which provided them extra customer information needed to close sales.
The fourth benefits of using business surveys is monitor customer satisfaction and improve business processes use. So by this, the typical methods of distribution of the customer satisfaction surveys includes a survey link on the customer's receipt or by sending an email to customers shortly after their order. This extremely reduces the cost as it requires no researcher and in-store staff to distribute the survey. Over time, a customer satisfaction survey can help business identify and correct customer service failures. So the fifth benefit of using business survey is generate leads and increase engagement with lead generation quizzes. So ang quizzes nga itong nailan jud kay form na siya na napuno o questionnaire or survey. So the quizzes come into two distinct styles. The first one is personality quizzes, like for example, what are your desired business in the future? And the second one is the knowledge-based quizzes, such as what do you know about business, or could quizzes generate extra leads for business? So the both styles can be used by small business during the lead generation process of your sales strategy to guide customers to the correct page or to collect customer information that will help in a sales context.
For the next topic, it is all about the 9 types of survey methods, including the pros and cons of each methods to be discussed by the next reporter.
Good morning everyone, this is Christian Daniel G. Estrera and I'm going to report on what is online survey methods. So an online survey is a questionnaire that the target audience can complete over the internet. Online surveys are usually created as web forms with a database to store the answers and statistical software to provide analytics. People are often encouraged to complete online surveys by an incentive such as being entered to win a prize. So more companies often use an online surveys to gain a deeper understanding of their customers' tastes and opinions. Like traditional surveys, online survey can be used in two basic ways to provide more data on customers, including everything from basic demographic information such as age, education level, and so on, to create survey about a specific product, service, or brand in order to find out how consumers are acting to it. In contrast to the traditional surveys, online surveys offer the companies a way to sample a broader audience at a lower cost. 6. Sample of online surveys are employee satisfaction survey questionnaires template, 21 customer satisfaction survey questions and survey template. So employee satisfaction survey questions template is employee satisfaction survey questions allows you to measure the organization employee satisfaction levels, such as there is an improvement in employee mood, morale, and productivity. Use this free template to power your workforce and HR strategies to cultivate a work culture that enables your organizations to win from within. So 21 customer satisfaction survey questions and survey template. This customer's satisfaction survey example is designed for a complete 360 CSAT evaluation and measurements of your consumer satisfaction levels with 21 unique questions to measure net promoter score, customer effort score, customer service satisfaction, and etc. Use these sample questionnaires and start increasing customer retention score and customer recommendations for your products and services. This sample customer satisfaction questionnaire is generic. You can customize it for any industry based on your needs. So nasa tay advantages and disadvantages sa online survey methods. So sa advantages, there have 11 advantages of online survey methods. So number 1 is more convenience and a better responses. Don't you love it when you can do things at your own pace in your preferred surroundings? Online surveys provide this convenience to all participants. It allows them to start surveys when they want and stop whenever it suits them. So number 2 is accessibility from any device. Turn back the clock 2 decades ago and you see big clunky computers, a lot of paperwork, and not so smartphones. Now we have phones, laptops, and tablets with powerful specifications that can put an old computer to shame. Significant cost cutting. Gone are the days when business had to break their bank accounts for conducting surveys across different geographic locations. So number 4 is flexible with design. One of the notable advantages of surveys shared online is their design flexibility. Number 5 is allow you to be selective. Not every question in every survey resonates with all your customers. If you distribute a single service to customers with a varying problems, it's likely that you will not get the quick responses. Number 6 is all-power data analysis. All of the advantages of online surveys, the one that the most beneficial is the easy and quick data analysis. What used to take hours in the case of traditional paper-based surveys, now hardly a matter of minutes. So number 7 is maintains respondents anonymity. Another advantage of surveys shared online is respondent anonymity. They help you maintain if you are looking for honest answers from respondents. This online survey feature is tremendous help. Number 8 is access to accurate feedback. It is common for customers to beat around the bush during in-person or telephonic surveys. Finding wit from the chaff is another challenging and time-consuming process in such surveys. Number 9 is saves you substantial time effort. Unlike traditional surveys conducted in person or via phone requiring you to compile all the responses once the survey is complete. Online surveys, you have no such hassles. They are easy to launch and easier to analyze. You can do the right from your seat. So number 10 is maximum reach with minimum efforts. Thanks to the emergence of the internet, the big wide world has become compact and connected despite geographical boundaries. So number 11, increase customer satisfaction. There is flexibility and convenience provided by online surveys are unmatched. While online service allows you to share service with customers in seconds, they help your customers take up the service right away or when they have time to do so. Advantages of online service is an inability. Number 1 is an inability to connect with people from remote areas. One of the major disadvantages of online service is their incompetence to reach people residing in far off remote locations with no access to the internet. Number 2 is high chances of survey. In case of lengthy, complicated, or confusing surveys, it's highly likely for customers to escape questions and respond mindlessly just to get done with the survey. Number 3, sampling issues. While conducting online surveys, keep an eye out for sampling issues that might impact overall results. A representative sample is at the core of a survey that helps you generalize the result for a larger audience. Number 4, response bias. Another problem that can lead to misleading information is response bias in online surveys. Most of the time, people tend to respond in a certain way due to various reasons, such as the fear of being judged, financial situations, personality differences, and many others. Number 5 is survey fatigue. Research conducted by Customers Thermometer found the response rate for long surveys measured to 9%. Surveys can get tiresome, especially those with an open-ended questions requiring deep and careful thinking. Number 6 is increase in errors. Since online surveys harness the power of technology, there could be many response errors. The internet connectivity can go low, forcing the respondents to restart the service repeatedly. Also, there could be device-related issues. Number 7 is a large number of unanswered questions. Skipping unwanted questions is as easy as answering questions in an online survey. This means every time participants get a complicated, long, or irrelevant questions, they are highly likely to skip it and move on to questions they are comfortable answering. And the last one is difficult to interpret the sentiments behind the answers. There are several advantages of online service. They are easy, convenient, and flexible, but an important area where they lag behind is capturing what respondents really feel about the problems mentioned in the survey. And that's all about the online survey methods.
Face-to-face survey method that utilize a specific target population is involved. A personal interview survey, also called as a face-to-face survey, is a survey method that is utilized when a specific target population is involved. The purpose of conducting a personal interview survey is to explore the responses of the people to gather more and deeper information. Face-to-face surveys require little effort on the part of the respondents as the interviewer meets them at a prearranged time and location. The interviewer works directly with the respondents while filling out the survey and clarifies their doubts. Face-to-face surveys are apt for respondents who have low literacy. In addition, it helps uncover deep insights by asking more open-ended questions. The interviewers can make sure that the respondents pay attention without getting distracted. To ensure that no data goes ignored, the researcher records the interview. Compared to the other types of survey methods, face-to-face surveys offer profound insights and accuracy, but it is expensive and time-intensive.
Focus groups. Like the face-to-face survey, the focus group survey method is in person. The only difference is that there is a group of people around 6 to 10. The group is selected to represent the survey's target population. Each person can share their feedback on a topic while a moderator leads the group. Their role is to control the flow of discussion and reduce bias. Focus group is a small number of carefully selected people who discuss a topic. It is used to identify and explore how people think and behave, so that the members can share their ideas and plan. For example, a group can involve having a set of potential clients walk through an email marketing campaign and answer questions about their experience in order to help learn about campaigns' effectiveness and potential problems before implementation.
Pros.
1. This survey method is good for market research because it lets you uncover personal attitudes and perceptions. 2. Focus groups are increasingly becoming digital. 3. There are no geographical restrictions. Anyone can participate from anywhere. 4. Focus groups perfectly complement a quantitative survey method. 5. A focus group study conducted right before surveying a larger population can reinforce insights. 6. It helps if you decide what questions the moderator should ask and prepare a script for the questions.
Cons.
1. Selecting the FAD participant takes time. 2. The participant should be aware of the research objectives and essential facts before the discussion. 3. Certain participants may dominate this discussion, so the opinions expressed may not represent that of the population. 4. The survey method is also a bit cost-intensive. You may have to incentivize participants and moderators and bear their travel expenses.
Panel sampling. What is panel sampling? Panel sampling involves randomly choosing a group of people to be part of a panel that takes part in a study several times over a period of time. It allows researchers to study changes with the population as well as changes in individual people. However, they can be vulnerable to attrition if people leave the study before it is finished. For example, in a longitudinal survey, the same panel of people might be surveyed repeatedly over time. And another example is a study of determinants of school enrollment in which data are collected yearly for each school in a region or country over a 10-year period. So for me, panel sampling is all about making surveys and collecting data. What are the pros and cons of panel sampling? The pros of panel sampling is the panel research provides many advantages for companies, including faster turnaround, higher participation rates, and cost savings. Quantitative data can provide companies with insights into pricing, effectiveness, and sales projection of their products or brand. And the cons of panel sampling is be aware that tracing sample members to participate in a panel surveys may be difficult, time-consuming, and expensive. And also remember that you always need to stick to the data protection rules in your country.
Phone survey. So, phone survey have become one of the common methods of data collection. So, ang phone survey kaya ang kasagarang gamiton to collecting data. And GSMA data suggests that 66.79% of the world population own a mobile phone, making phone one of the most accessible tools for data gathering in the world. So, 66.79% of the world population on mobile phone. So, dali na lang makakolekta og data gathering in the world. And telephone conversation is one of the oldest methods of collecting information via a mobile phone survey, and it is a two-way exchange of information, ideas, and views. So, it is the oldest method of collecting information via a mobile phone survey, like an exchange of information, ideas, or feedback. For example, phone interviewing. It is a method of data collection wherein interviewers contact respondents via telephone to conduct an interview by asking the respondents about their feedback of the service. So, ang interviewer mo contact og respondents via telephone to conduct interview and ask about the feedback of their service. Pros. Number 1. Information can be gathered quickly because phone interviews are immediate, and skill interviews can complete a lot of survey in a day of work. We can gather information quickly because of the phone survey niya. Dili ra kayo siya daghan og kore-kore, because you just have to do is to ask question by using phone. Number 2. Most people have telephones, so you have an ample audience for gathering a representative sample to complete the survey. So, kasagaran sa mga tao kay na ay cellphone. So, it is easy to do data gathering and to complete the survey. Number 3. A telephone interview has a personal touch, so it can lead to viable brand building benefits if the interviewer survey in a professional and skilled way. So, interviewer has a personal touch para dali ra makagather og survey like in a professional way and skilled way. Number 4. Telephone interviews can be cost-effective as you can have a higher response rate than web surveys. So, because of phone interview, effective kayo ni siya and it can make higher response rate. Cons. Number 1. Sometimes telephone calls are perceived as a telemarketing and negative received by potential respondents. This might influence your response rate. So, sometimes phone calls are perceived as telemarketing and negative received by potential respondents. Tungod ani ma-influensyahan ng imong rate. So, be careful. Number 2, it can be challenging to design an effective phone survey because the questions need to be short and precise for easy comprehension. So, to make phone survey, it can be challenging because you have to make the question direct to the point in a friendly way. Number 3, timing must be carefully considered. The administrators and supervisors should monitor both the time of the call and the length of the actual interview. So, timing must be important. What if nitawag ka kanya busy di ang imong gitawagan, so you have to monitor the time.
Mail surveys are questionnaire distributed and delivered via postal service to a simple audience. Respondents then have complete this survey and return them via mail. When drafting a mail survey, ensure that the study does not exceed 1 page. Also include cover letter with your enterprise letterhead and the purpose of this survey. In addition, it should include details like a survey deadline and the incentives on offer. Letter with enterprise letterhead and the purpose of this survey. In addition, it should include details like survey deadline and the incentive on offer. So, ang kanilang mail survey, mao na siya ang questionnaire nga mao tong i-deliver sa postal service kay para maabot sa receiver. And kung nagkaabot sa receiver mo ito, pada sila suwat, mauna po ito ang send mo balik. O kung mag-drop ko na mo mail survey, dapat ko no na dito kung asa na tayong padadaan, o asa na lugar, dapat complete details ginatanan. Nadyo na sa tab dito, ibutang ninyo kung sa purpose ninyo anong nagpadamo ng suwata, and additional na dapat kung ano mo deadline kung karasaan mo ipada kay para maibawa nila kung karasaan nila mahatag sa receiver. PROs, mail survey are straightforward and consist of few open-ended questions. Mail survey may seem old-fashioned, but they also offer a sense of authenticity. CON or cons. While mail surveys are convenience for respondents, it will also requires their effort. Thus, it has a chance of being ignored, especially if the target respondents are busy professionals. This is cause of printing envelopes and postage.
What is kiosk survey? These mobile kiosk surveys are displays with an embedded device for consumers to take a program questionnaire. The idea is for a customer to answer questions about their in-store experience right on their way out. So, ang kiosk survey is isa sa mga survey methods na you can use in your business. For example, at your shop, store, hotel lobby, hospital, or office. So, in that cases, you can have a survey waiting in the corner to be filled in by any visitor who passes by. So, kasi nakalagay lang siya dun sa near the exit of a retail store. So, madali lang siya makita or madali lang siya mapansin. And then we have example, taking 2-minute survey. He easily takes the survey on a mobile kiosk by answering some questions about the product he ordered, service he received, and cleanliness of the cafe. So, ganun lang siya kadali. You can just answer those questions, those program questions without any any pressure or any instructions needed. So, we have the advantages and disadvantages. So, unahin ko yung advantages is you won't need a internet connection because the survey is run on an app, which means responses are stored on the device until you'd like to download the data to a web application for analysis. So, it's a really good thing na hindi siya kailangan ng internet connection because, meron mga lugar na mahinang internet, mahinang connection. So, it's a really good thing. Second, if you are a retail business that has several locations, Kia's service allows you to analyze customer responses according to each store while comparing the performance of each store's employees and managers. So it can really help your business growth because it has a feature that you can analyze several locations. You can analyze the customer responses in several locations. Third, capturing feedback in real time. It also means you eliminate bias in survey responses. So, isa rin sa mga advantages is you get real-time feedback sa customers because customers answer questions while their memory is still fresh and their judgment is more trustworthy because they answer it right on the way out. So we have disadvantages. Unsupervised access to the survey. Here you would need to look out for people taking the survey that did not truly have an in-store experience. So isa sa mga disadvantages nito is yun nga, hindi lahat ng mga hindi ka sure na lahat ng mga nag-take ng survey is may experience talaga dun sa store mo. So the last one is you can control the number of people taking the survey. Because it is a passive experience in the store, the majority of customers may walk right past the mobile kiosk without ever noticing there is a survey program within it. So isa sa mga disadvantages nito is you can control the number of people taking the surveys. Minsan konti lang yung nagtitake kasi they don't know or they don't care. So you have no control of that.
Paper survey. A questionnaire printed on paper is called a paper survey. Paper questionnaires might seem outdated, but many market researchers still use them. The majority of respondents often believe that printed surveys are more anonymous than online surveys, which leads to the belief that respondents may be more honest on printed surveys. Example, survey flyers.
Pros.
Paper surveys in conjunction with online surveys can boost response rates. When planned correctly, paper surveys can be a cost-effective way of collecting data. Moreover, it is the best alternative when the respondent cannot access its online version. Paper surveys can be easily distributed via direct mail or in-person distribution. Not everyone is tech savvy enough to be at ease with online surveys. For an audience like this, paper surveys are a more effective tool. For example, senior citizens may prepare a paper-based survey so they are printed on a white background and in easy-to-read large fonts.
Cons.
With each printing costs, the paper surveys method is expensive. Paper surveys are not environmentally friendly. Unlike online surveys, paper surveys lack an extra layer of data security like password authentication.
I was tackling my topic, which is SMS surveys or small messaging service. What is SMS? A survey that is administrated and the data is collected from respondents by using the small messaging service. Feature available on mobile or feature phone devices. This survey allows you to capture user feedback via text message. So far what I have understand in SMS surveys, it is used by our mobile phones that nakanang pinaagi sa text nga ato ang ikuan ma-send siya tapos makakuha ta og kaning mga feedback sa ato ang customer. So importante gyud kaayo ni siya kay makatabang gyud ni siya nga makakuha tag information og maka-improve og ma-enhance ang kuan sa customer experience. Knife pros ang kuan sa SMS surveys, which is the first one is this survey method is ideal for collecting feedback on recent events.
There are two cons in SMS surveys. The first one is there's limited space for elaboration in a text message. This makes SMS surveys unsuitable for studies that need an introduction or context for better answers. So kani siya is limitado ra ang iyang elaboration sa usa ka message nga kinahanglan pa nga i-improve. Then dili siya suitable sa SMS surveys kay nagkinahanglan pa siya og kaning pagtagad sa isa ka way nga para makakuha ta og mas maayo nga result or kanang answers. Then second one, these types of surveys methods can be costly depending on the carrier charges. Known by using our mobile phones nga gamit ang data maka-text ta also as we all know nga need pud siya og load nga para maka-create ta sa SMS surveys then kinahanglan sad siya og time and minimum resources para through by SMS and kanin I load ma-send na to ang mga informations then I guess this is the end of my topic.